Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the NAMM Show in Anaheim 2011. My name is KK Martin, and you're watching Bay Area Rocks.
You're watching Bay Area Rocks, and I've got KK Martin with me today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Day 4 of the NAMM Show. We're all a little bleary, but it's good.
And we're still alive, you know?
That's right.
Our feet are still kicking.
We decided good tequila is the secret.
That is, and cushy shoes.
That's right.
Let's talk about when you first started and everything, your background.
Oh my gosh! Well, we just went over that, and it's like when I started, you were starting when I started.
1973. That's your first NAMM show,
that was
though.
my first NAMM show.
Yeah.
That's right. So we discovered that I'm as old as a tree.
The carbon.
That's right. Let's see. Well, I was born in Louisiana. And I'm not going to say what year it was now because I already feel old enough. But
just count backwards.
Okay. Backwards works for me. I came out here in 1969 from Louisiana. My mom and dad were both musicians. I actually started touring in their band when I was just a kid.
And what was that band called?
My mom was named Randy Rennell. And my dad's name was Bob Hansen, and she was a singer-songwriter who wrote songs for Patti Page and Cliffy Stone, and actually had some stuff on records. But when I started touring with them, she was just called Randy Rennell. And that.
Cool. And let's talk about the band A La Carte that you were in.
Okay. A La Carte was, probably... the band that I get questioned about the most, and we were very much ensconced in the LA Sunset Strip scene in the early 70s, all through the 70s and early 80s. We played the Starwood, the Whiskey, the Troubadour, the Rainbow, Motley Crue. Their first gig was opening for us at the Whiskey, and
sweet.
Yeah, and so. Those were some really, really incredible days to be a part of that whole scene. And we were just talking about that, how it's like just really hard to get people involved in anything anymore, And in those days, rock and roll was a much more communal experience. We kind of all felt like we were all part of the same gang, And on any given night, no matter where you were in the country or even in the world, but especially in Southern California, no matter where you were, there was a club somewhere within 5 miles of wherever you were that had an amazing band and an amazing party. And this is pre-cell phone technology, pre-internet. It was like, in those days, you actually had a little black book, right, with numbers in it. And you would actually literally...
Rotary phones. I was talking about that yesterday.
All your friends would go, hey, Motley Crue's playing, or hey, Wasp is playing, or hey, somebody's playing somewhere very close to you, and that's where everybody would be. And it was people actually interacted, and that was very, very cool. And the bands were all, there was a real sense of camaraderie, as well as a real sense of competition as well. Everybody was bringing their A game and, really trying to best each other as much as they could, but also very supportive of each other as well. And so it was an amazing time, and, I wouldn't have missed it for anything. I'm really blessed to have been part of it. And, I had some very, very dear friends and still do. Randy Rhoads was playing in Quiet Riot. They were very, very good friends of ours, and we did a lot of shows with them. Van Halen. Like I said, we were all kind of in the same band almost for a little while there on the Strip in the 70s.
So what's your favorite memorable, tour story? Or give me something that, shocked you or something on the road.
Oh, my gosh. What shocked me? I kind of had to edit myself a little bit because I don't want to,
Yeah.
There's you mean like a clean, shocking story or a really disgusting road story?
Probably something that, it was funny to you and it, kind of rated PG-17.
Okay, PG-17. Let me think about this for a second.
Okay.
All right. Back in the day, when in A La Carte, I'll tell you an A La Carte story. We were playing, we actually played at Knott's Berry Farm.
Uh-huh.
This is the PG part, right? And I'm surprised that they even decided they were going to try and have a real rock and roll show at Knott's Berry Farm anyway. But we showed up early and for sound check, and they used to have this amazing water curtain in front. There was like a dancing waters thing for a curtain. Uh-huh. And our drummer showed up really early, Brian O'Brien, showed up really early for the gig. And apparently there's an ice show that they have going on there with Snoopy on ice or some sort of stuff like that, you know. And they had this chimp. Brian walks in and there's nobody around anywhere on the stage. And he sees this, what he thought was like a person, you know, with like a hat on and smoking a cigarette. And it was this chimp.
Smoking the cigarette?
Yeah, it was a chimp. And the way Brian tells the story is he was attacked by this chimp and the chimp tried to rape him. And you know, there was lawsuits involved, and but it was pretty funny to show up at a show and be attacked by a chimpanzee.
Most
sort
definitely.
Of like Pootie Tang's dad getting, you know, attacked by a gorilla, you know.
Most definitely.
I think Brian was like the only third guy to ever be mauled by a chimp there, you know.
Well, Michael might have too, Michael Jackson, but we don't know that. Well, let's talk about how you got back to your roots, back to the blues roots, and your new album, Naked Blues Volume 2. Tell me, how did you decide to go solo and get back to your roots?
Well, you know, I feel like I actually never really left them. And in fact, once again, referring to a la carte, we actually got lumped as a hard rock heavy metal band. But really, you know, I've always just been a blues player. And if you play loud enough, it's hard rock and heavy metal. So
Right.
we were just playing blues really, really loud, as you know, is pretty much how that happened. So I feel like I've never really left my blues roots. And the original Naked Blues record started out as pretty much an homage to my family and just the music that I grew up listening to in Louisiana and wanting to revisit that because, you know, in the rock and roll years, I was constantly kind of deny that sort of my side. You know, I wanted to be from England.
And you were rebelling against it.
Yeah, I wanted to be a big British blues star, you know. And so, you know, it was very nice to reconnect with that music and sort of get back to just the basics of it and try and, you know, remember what initially attracted me to this whole crazy rock and roll thing in the first place. And it was all about the blues. And so the first record was very traditional. I mean, I covered like, you know, a lot of Robert Johnson, Sleepy John Estes, Mississippi John Hurt. And on this record, I tried to make the connection of how that music sort of traveled to other rock and roll artists. So I covered more rock and roll artists on this record in a blues fashion, including myself, like Johnny Winter and Rory Gallagher and Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, I
because,
Fleetwood Mac too.
Well, Fleetwood Mac actually was a blues band way before the girls got in the band. When Peter Green, back in the day, they started out as a blues band, just like the Stones or, you know. So, you know, that's sort of where I was going with this record. And, you know, I was laughing with a lot of my more hard rock friends here, you know, that, you know, everybody says my new record, it's more rock, it's more rock, it's more, you know, so for me, as a blues guy, I can only say this record is more dangerous, you know.
Ooh.
So it's a little darker and a little more dangerous, and there's more talk about straight razors and pistols and bad women and bad alcohol and fast cars.
Well, tell me who's in the band and
well, just
where
me.
you. Oh,
I
really?
am.
You did it. You did the whole thing.
Yes, it's me
and
solo
did you
acoustic.
Where did you record it? Did you record it too?
I actually recorded it in my
Wow.
studio and engineered and produced myself, and you know, so whatever flaws there are with the, you know, there's no place for me to hide in this thing. I'm certainly a deer in the headlights here, and there's a certain freedom in that in a way.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm also playing in a lot of other projects, and like Michael Olivieri from Leatherwolf. I don't know if you know Leatherwolf.
I actually just found out about Leatherwolf today.
Okay. And they're, you know, a pretty well-known metal band, and I work with Michael, and it's like a six-piece band, and we were laughing the other day that, you know, I love being in a six-piece band because I really don't have to do anything, you know. I just let the other guys work and sort of walk around, you know. But, you know, when you do the solo thing, there's really no place to hide, and it's terrifying and really gratifying at the same time. And, you know, I've been really fortunate to open for some of my idols doing this, and one of the things about doing solo acoustic is because you're solo acoustic, you're able to kind of sort of be really a guerrilla, you know, and sneak in. Yeah, I can sneak in under the radar, and it's like there's no drums for me to move or anything, so it's like I'm an easy opening act for people. But then I think they're really pleasantly surprised that, you know, it's actually very entertaining because it becomes much more about the song and about the vocal performance, and less about the whole bombast of, you know.
Yeah. Smoke and mirrors and all that other stuff. Yeah.
It all strips down to, you know, real human emotion and anger and heartbreak and danger and, you know, the
and
human
joy.
story. Yeah, and joy. And, you know, the blues isn't all about being bummed out. Sometimes, you know, having the blues can be a very joyful thing, you know.
I like to dance to the blues.
Absolutely. Well, it's all about, you know, the mojo. The blues is a thing of the heart, you know.
Yeah.
So you can never go too far wrong if you're, hey, how are you doing, brother? You know, you can never go too far wrong if you're following your heart. It'll always take you to a good place.
So what other projects are you in besides Leather Wolf?
Well, I'm supporting this record right now, and I also work with Lester Chambers from the Chambers Brothers, who's an amazing blues singer. And there's talk of us going to Europe this year for a few shows, and you know, every day is an adventure. I'm just like everybody else on the planet. We all wake up in the morning and, you know, no telling where the day might take us. But as far as plans go, I'm just out there on the road and trying to support this record and spread more blues to the world, you know.
Sweet. What shows are you playing? I heard you have some events coming up and some shows.
Well, I do a lot of bread and butter gigs around town, but I'm also going to be at the Arcadia Blues Club in Arcadia, California, and that's, I think, coming up on the 21st. I'll be at the Rio Blues Festival of Orange County. And what's the date on that one? May 15th. And then I have some award shows coming up at the Mint in Hollywood. And I'm actually working on my own radio show. I got offered to host a blues show at a PBS station here, KOCI. It's 101.5. And I'll be doing Sundays there, and my show is called The Blues Side by Side.
Sweet.
And so, you know, I'm excited about that. I've never done a radio show, and I plan on having a lot of really cool guests come in and
radio
do some
shows
live
are
radio.
fun.
Yeah,
So fun.
I'm really having a blast with that. So yeah, I'm excited, man.
Sweet. Well, make sure everybody goes and you know, get your record, your CD.
You can find me on Facebook. I'm really easy to find on Facebook.
Facebook.com. KK Martin plays the BK Blues. Sorry,
That's
blues.
Right. KK Martin plays the polka.
The blues, not the polka. So check him out, KK Martin. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sweetie. Thank you.